Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 1994 Mercury Sable LS Wagon. Up front is a 3.8 liter V6, and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Sable Wagon because this is everything that was so wonderful with early 90s cars. You have the turquoise exterior, a green interior, digital dashboard, it's a wagon, it's all there. And so I am so excited to review this car, sure, but more so just to capture the essence of what the Mercury Sable Wagon was over 30 years ago. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 3.8 liter V6. Well, there were two engines offered here in the Mercury Sable. There was no 4-cylinder option. It was just two V6s, which was either the 3-liter V6, shown here in a Taurus wagon that I recently drove, or this, the 3.8 liter. Now, obviously the 3.8 liter was the better choice because it was bigger and made more power. However, for longevity's sake, these go through head gaskets quite a bit. However, this vehicle has had the head gasket replaced, so I don't have any worries here today. But if you are looking into buying one, ask if it's been replaced or just plan on replacing it yourself. Now, like I said, paired to it is an automatic transmission. It's fine. It's doing the job. I don't really have any complaints about it, and that's all I can ask for from a 30-year-old transmission. Last but not least, the Mercury Sable is, of course, front-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive this Sable wagon? Well, it's a very cushy and very comfortable experience. I wouldn't say it's like Crown Victoria levels of comfort, or Lincoln Town Car for that matter, but it's pretty doggone close. Visibility is wonderful out of the front and the rear, even though it is a wagon. The steering is nice and direct, and I don't know, I'm just really comfortable in this car. That's a very nice spot to be in. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior because we have quite a bit to talk about. Well, in front of me, I have completely digital gauges. I love this. This is so flippin' cool and so retro. I love it, love it, love it. Off to the left, we have our coolant temperature. In the center, we have our tachometer and speedometer. And off to the right, we have our fuel, distance till empty, and it's called the fuel computer. Back when the word computer really held a lot of weight. I love looking at these, so I'm just gonna kind of draw out what I'm saying so we get to look at them more. Filler, 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 please enjoy these gauges, blah, blah, blah. On the steering wheel, that is green, off to the left and right, we have the cruise control options. Really nice to see that here in 94. And the overall steering wheel looks and feels nice. It honestly feels more modern than 94. I would say this would easily slip into the early 2000s and still look the part, minus the fact that it's green. Off to the left, we have our rear defrost, our washers and rear wiper, along with our headlight switches we'll talk about in a second. One thing I do want to point out is that yes, it does have a rear wiper, but also the rear sprayer is actually integrated into the third brake light. Very, very weird to see that. Dimmer switches and auto lamp, which are all very, very cool. Moving out of the door, we have our power mirrors up high, and down low, we have our power locks and power windows. Moving into the center, we do have some memory seek and volume buttons. Now, this is very, very interesting to find radio controls up near the gauge cluster. But we also have buttons for like the tach and reset and different modes that I was showing you earlier. We also have a digital clock in the center, and I like this really nice swooping dash. The SRS airbag badge even looks super cool. I just love it all together. And down below, we do have the climate controls that will go up to 90 degrees. You can really get cooking here in the Mercury Sable wagon. Down below that, we have the factory Ford radio. Nothing really too crazy or interesting here, but we do have a coin and cup holder. And just like the Taurus wagon, this has the same warning on the cup holder that says hard objects in cup holders can injure you in an accident, so soft cups only. One of the weirdest cup holder quirks of the 90s. However, they fail the big friggin' bottle test, to be expected, but we still had to try. No center console because we do actually get a bench seat, which is awesome to see. And the seats themselves are very, very comfortable. One of the cornerstones here of the Mercury Sable. And I think that really adds to the allure of the comfortable ride here in the Mercury Sable wagon. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 1994 Mercury Sable wagon, and a couple of things to note. First of all, knee room good, headroom good. It feels like it has more knee room than the Taurus wagon, which is weird. Anyway, I do have ashtrays in the doors. I have power windows back here. I don't get a center console, but again, it is a big bench seat. And overall, it's just fun to be back here. I can't imagine how many families went on road trips and, seeing the Grand Canyon for the first time out of these windows, or moving to a new state. This car started its life in New York and then at some point came here to Michigan. So there was some time that someone was probably back here, going on a new adventure, moving to a new state. That's pretty cool. And it's cool to experience that sort of group nostalgia, if you will. Let's hop into the very back. Unfortunately, we don't have the rear-facing third row, but if you do want to see that, that is in my Taurus video. But let's hop back there and see what's up. So around the back of the Mercury Sable wagon, 2 keys. So the black key goes into the ignition. This big silver one is for this. So we can turn it to the right, and that will release just the glass. Really, really cool to see that. Love when cars do this. Some modern cars do it, but not as much. But then close that, and we could turn it to the left, and that is the tailgate. So once we are back here, we do have this liftable, openable section. This is where the third row would go, but like I said, this vehicle doesn't have it. Really cool Ford Taurus Mercury Sable replacement, or repair manual, not replacement, repair manual. Because you used to fix things back in the day. Now you just go buy a new one. Other than that, nothing too crazy. Tons and tons of space back here, which is really nice to see, of course, from a wagon. But here it is. This is the rear of the Mercury Sable. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and of course this is finished in a wonderful period correct turquoise. This is the original color, and it has never been repainted. It's absolutely lovely to look at. We'll do the walk around first. I think it's fantastic. It's so unapologetically 90s. It's absolutely beautiful in my opinion, and I love it so much. However, we do have to finish the walk around. I don't know how long that's gonna take, blah, 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 filler. But of course, with the exterior, we have to talk about the front light bar, which actually works here in this Mercury Sable. I love it. It is so cool. And just the thought of seeing this as a kid in 1994, I mean, you had to think you were looking at a spaceship. And not many cars have done big light bars ever since. So this is such a cool piece of historical tech, I guess you want to call it. So cool. And here's the light bulbs that it actually uses for that light bar, in case you were curious. But now, with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving this Mercury Sable wagon from 1994? Well, it's lovely. It's so awesome. Is this the best car I've ever driven? No, but it might be one of the most nostalgic and one of the greatest snapshots of a period in history. It just has every box ticked when it came to old style of cars. The green interior, how weird is that? The digital dashboard. It's a wagon. It has the light bar. All of it together, this is what I think of when I think of early 90s cars. Because early 90s cars were still grasping onto the 80s. This car was really designed in the mid-1980s. That's why the third brake light just looks tacked on there, because it was a new regulation in 86. But this to me is just so cool. It's like stepping into a time machine. This is the closest I will get to driving a DeLorean at 88 miles an hour. I get to experience what it was like back in 94, and just that thought process. Sitting in here, you must have felt like the Jetsons driving this car. And that to me is so cool. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at this car and basking in its awesome retro glory. And even if you watch this video on mute, I hope you just liked looking at it, because this is just a sight to behold, and it's something that we just don't see on the road anymore. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Tyler for letting me take out his Mercury Sable wagon. I was so excited to drive this vehicle and just to get it into my repertoire, because this is one of the best. Tyler was absolutely fantastic to work with. such a nice and kind person, and I really, really thank him for the opportunity. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.